My 29F friend, 33F, of 4 years bailed on me for the millionth time and I want to tell her off. She invited me to a New Year's Eve event 2 weeks ago. I said yes, I'll go. Just let me know when you get your ticket and I'll get mine. She said she already has hers, so I got mine, $70. Fast forward to 12:30 and now she tells me that actually she is going to leave at 10 p.m. because she got invited to another event. She has done things like this multiple times. Once she invited 20 people to her house for a party 3 weeks in advance, then a few days before the party cancelled it because she got invited to something else. Once I invited her to an event and the day came and I asked her what time she wanted to meet and she was actually already there with a different friend and they were about to leave. She is flaky and that is one thing, but I feel this is also selfishness. I told her that I was upset with her about Nye because my family had considered going out of town, but since I already had these plans with her I told them no. Then the day before she effectively bails because obviously the point of a New Year's event is midnight. My question is, should I further explain to her how upset I am because I had to sit at home alone on New Year's because of her selfishness or not? The thing is, we have already discussed this yesterday and she did apologize and offered to pay me back. But for me it's not about the money. I saw today on her social media her posting her pics from last night and it infuriates me. I want to further go into how she has treated me and how her selfishness affected me. But, since she already apologized, I think maybe I'm just raging and shouldn't say anything else because at this point it would just be for the sake of expressing my anger, which maybe isn't constructive. Too long did not read. My friend bailed on me for New Year's and I'm furious. But I already told her this and she already apologized. I'm still mad though and want to further explain to her how it affected me and how hurt I am to sit at home alone on New Year's because of her selfishness, but at this point maybe it's not constructive because what else can she do other than apologize? She's not your friend. She uses you until something better comes along. If you were in a relationship you would be plan B. I've had a friend Luke this. We never hang out anymore. You could let her know that you can do stuff spontaneously but will no longer count on her for plans that are scheduled out because she is unreliable. She's not flaky, she's opportunistic. She always has a backup plan and sadly, it's you, and everyone else not on her A list. Your friend lacks integrity. This is just the way she is and it is likely the way she will always be. You need to let go of the idea of her behavior fitting into what your idea of a friend should be. If she's a lot of fun to be around, then just appreciate the time you have together but don't take any future plans too seriously. Avoid putting yourself in a situation where your plans hinge on her in the future. It is very smart to express disappointment, but telling her off isn't going to make anything better. My petty self would offer her a party she can't beat. Like tell her you won a contest and got VIP access to her favorite band and you want to take her, and then the day of tell her that you already made plans to take your other friend. I have a rule. If people flake or bail on me 3 times in a row, I stop inviting them out or accepting their invitations. I simply don't have time for games. Stop making plans with her. A real friend doesn't treat you that way. Fuck her. Her apology means nothing since she does it again and again. She didn't even have the decency to ask you to go to the other event with her. Don't make plans with this woman. She isn't reliable because you're not important to her. Is she your friend or your girlfriend? Never mind, she's neither. She's selfish and rude. Find someone who likes you enough to keep their word to you. You deserve that at a minimum. The reason you want to go back and tell her how you feel even though she apologized is because you know she's not going to change her behavior. The thing is, she's not going to change it after you tell her either. In this situation, you can only control what you do, and it sounds like you should stop making plans with her. Burn it down. Walk away. Girl, give yourself some self-love and get away from this person. She does not value you or anyone in her circle as actually people. It's super hard to come to terms with people like this, but she is emotionally abusing you. You have every right to feel the way you do. I'd ditch her for good. She will never consider your feelings even if you express to her how you feel. I had a friendship like this. I stopped contacting, inviting her to things. Without me constantly trying to keep the friendship together, it ended. Sometimes it's best to let things end naturally. Stop inviting her places. And don't agree to go places with her that fully depend on her going for you to as well. 2021 is over. This includes friendships like these. Bye Felicia, you're not invited to 2022. Why explain? Cut your losses and move on. To be clear, she said she was sorry but then still ditched you. Because if that's the case, she isn't sorry. Apologies are meaningless if they don't come with changed behavior. I am sorry that I am ditching you, but I am still ditching you, is not an apology, it's an attempt to use words as a get-out-of-jail-free card. As far as your question, no, I wouldn't further explain it to her. Because she is full score aware of what she is doing, she just doesn't care. Sounds like you keep coming back, so she's even more likely to string you along. I know this, 'cause I've been there. People won't value your time until you do. This has happened to me. I just started saying no to plans with the person and making up excuses. Eventually I stopped answering them when they texted me. Maybe that's petty, maybe I should have said something and given her the chance to fix it, but IDK if you don't know that what you're doing is super rude and inconsiderate of my time, do I even want you as a friend anyway? My best friend is like this. Funny I'm saying best friend, huh? 26 years. She won't go anywhere unless there's something in it for her. I haven't seen her since 2019. I've asked her multiple times to come over, do things etc. There's always an excuse. You're 4 years into your friendship. Do you want to do this for 26 years like me? Make new friends. Remember, people treat you the way you let them treat you. She's learned she can just walk all over you and you'll take it. Stop making plans with her. If she asks why you guys never hang out, you can be honest, but stop chasing her. Cut ties completely, no explanation needed. Shushes sucks and definitely isn't a friend. As someone who's been there before I can relate. She doesn't care at all about you. You explaining things to her won't make a difference. You can simply just stop inviting her and decline her invitations. In the remote chance she asks you why, you tell her. Now, why would you get upset about someone who's treating you the way they've always treated you? So you have to decide if her behavior is a deal breaker or not. Don't bother wasting your time and energy to tell her off. It clearly shows she's not your friend if she has a pattern of stooding you up. Sounds like she has moved on from you and used you. Believe me, this relationship will not get any better. I had a friend like this best friend. At one point I realized that I am like a doormat to her. I appreciate myself too much to let someone behave with me like this. You only will get hurt and I know how hurtful betrayal feels like. True. I lost one friend, but I can count on others in my life and it's good feeling. Why don't you just say no next time? You told her how you feel. You don't want to make plans, so don't. Maybe not hang out with her anymore if you know she's just gonna keep bailing on you. She's not your friend op. So I have this young friend that has social issues and the advice I always give him is what I'll tell you. You don't need to go out of your way to vent, rant or explain yourself to her and how you feel. Instead I think that you should step back and readjust your game plan when it comes to hangouts with her. Even if it's artificial busyness, I'd say that you should be a little selfish for yourself too. If she's shown a habit of being flaky and selfish, then you need to determine whether you can afford to take those hits or not on those days. Enjoy yourself and do things with your own self-interest in mind, but don't maliciously do things and be kind to others. Good luck and I hope it all works out well. She's already showing you what kind of friend she is. She apologized, so she understands the problem. If she wanted to change it, she would. I'd suggest focusing on branching out. Put your energy into other friends who value you, and work on meeting new people. Are you sure she considers you a friend? I think you need to accept you're not friends and more of acquaintances. Or at least accept you might be her friend but she considers you third-tier level. Don't you have any other friends? Take the money. Let her behavior cost her something. I have a friend who does that, and for her it's about having poor boundaries. She can't say no to anyone, so she says yes to 3 commitments in the same night and tries to do all of them. I otherwise love her very much, and I usually like cancelled plans, so I tend to go with the flow, but if this happened I'd take the money for sure. It sounds like a serious conversation would be helpful, but my advice is to plan in advance how different outcomes would make you feel and how likely they are. A risk assessment, if you like. I had a friend exactly like this and I ended up just blocking her on everything and never speaking to her again, after one particular incident that was the final straw. They're selfish users who are waiting for a better offer. Don't put up with it. Wait until the next time she invites you to something and reject the invite, saying, "You flaked on me too many times. I'm not making plans with you anymore. It's a waste of my time and effort. I used to have a frenemy like this too. Chuck in needing a lift every time we went somewhere and it's her." Be kind to yourself and value people who value you. Only thing you can do is to stop being her friend. You're essentially letting her drag you along at this point. I've learned over the years that you can't force someone to be a reliable friend. Take everyone's advice here, but if she ever calls or texts to ask why you never hang out anymore, tell her why. Tell her it's because she's super flaky. Flakiness is something that I have lost all of my patience for. I just can't deal with it anymore and I refuse to do so. Life is too short to waste it on flaky people. Just because someone apologizes doesn't mean you have to accept. The comments have some good suggestions. If you know this about her but still put yourself in these situations, it's not surprising that you continue to be hurt. However, I think having the conversation with her and telling her off would be doing her a favor. She needs to hear how much she hurts others with this behavior. If nobody ever tells her, she might never be able to build solid relationships without really realizing why. It's not your responsibility to have that conversation with her, but if you want to put the energy in, do it. You should just drop her. Get better friends. You have been beyond forgiving. Tell her off nicely or not. Frankly, she doesn't deserve it nice because she hasn't been to you or anyone for that matter. Either way, it's time to cut her off and move on. You deserve a better friendship. Dear Op, if she is apologizing and keep doing it, what is the point? There are no consequences. This is who she is. If you cannot tolerate this, I'd suggest you explain this one last time, and walk away. Some people are just not worthy our time, love and energy. Take care. But, since she already apologized, I think maybe I'm just raging and shouldn't say anything else because at this point it would just be for the sake of expressing my anger, which maybe isn't constructive. I'm sorry isn't an apology. A full apology has 3 parts: acknowledging what she did hurt you, and how it hurt you. Saying she's sorry. Saying what action she's going to take moving forward to do better. Stop inviting her to events and don't plan on going anywhere when she invites you. Enough is enough. Don't even tell her anything cause that has gotten you nowhere. I had a friend like this in our group. We'd make plans and he always had somewhere else to be and we'd find out at the last minute. It just got too much one day and we decided enough is enough. Stopped inviting him to things and went low contact. We were a close-knit group of 5, so this was a big step for us, but it was clear that he just didn't value us or our time as much as we did for him. Cut loose. Find friends that keep to the plans you make together. She does not consider your time to be important and you should slowly phase her out, if not immediately cut her off. 4 years to me doesn't seem like a lot because I've purged 8-10 plus years of friendship multiple times. New year and fuck anyone who doesn't value your precious time. Time is all we have, and with COVID still fucking killing people, we should value the people around us even more. It's up to you, but I wouldn't bother telling her off. I'd just stop contacting. If she asks, you could explain why, but I don't think somebody like this will even have the capability to care all that much about your feelings. Just a waste of time. Late 20s is typically when you stop keeping these people in your circle. An apology is only worth the actions she takes to not do it again. Do you trust her to not do it again? If so, tell her and make it as clear as possible. If not, well, do you see any base in this friendship? Tell her off and dump her. Why keep this in your life?